Hello, welcome to Leicester Live on Casual Crypto Talk Radio. Actually, my name is Leicester. I'm your host today. Thank you for joining this evening. Depending on where you're coming from, it may actually even be morning. So, good morning. I have a few topics I'm going to be covering today. I'm not going to go too deep into them. This episode may not be that long, mostly because I have a lot of things going on. So I'm probably going to constrain this about 30 minutes, but I want to talk about the bear in the room, which is, of course, Mr. Logan Paul, Mr. WrestleMania himself. I think it's worth covering so people are aware of the stupidity that is. But before we do that, let me just quickly go through what I refer to as the so-called Lunk Challenge. The Lunk Challenge, of course, to refresh, and for those that are new, welcome. The Lunk Challenge is my opportunity to try to expose the business by burning some Luna Classic, contributing to the burn. Some of the validators initially weren't contributing to the burn. Then later, they started contributing to the burn. I've always been here. I'm not a validator. Something I thought about, but not here. And that's part of the challenge. I have to get out of here. But I still burn Luna Classic. It's based on simply participating with what we do. I don't ask for others. They like, subscribe, hit the bell. I don't, because I figure if I'm good enough, it'll just naturally happen. Perhaps I'm naive in this regard. But that's how I stand. And I don't run ads on the channel. Came to my attention, though, that YouTube has, under the terms, the ability to run ads on the channel. And I did confirm on a different computer that's not protected from the garbage that it does indeed have intermittent ads that show up. I don't know, frankly. I saw the ads. They're not terrible, but I don't like that ads are imposed upon my channel without my say-so. As a result, and the reason I told that story is YouTube sucks, and I am working extremely hard to get moved all the way over to BitChute. Currently, all of our stuff replicates to BitChute. So when I record, whether it's a static video or a live, it replicates to BitChute. So if you prefer BitChute and all of its beauty, you are free to catch our content there as well. And then, of course, CryptoTalkRadio.net, we do have a live directly on there. So you can just simply bookmark CryptoTalkRadio.net, check all our videos there. But if you'd like to join us live, I do appreciate you. So Luna Classic then challenge is for those that are participating, is my opportunity to give back by contributing to a burn. And I run the stats from the prior week, and it comes up with a number based on these percentages. Looks like we're currently roughly about the same $15. So we've been running about $15 a week. We had a couple spikes there and there, and I'm good with the number, no problem. Just FYI, because of the run up, which I'm going to be talking about here soon, I have to load more cryptocurrency into the burn wallet. Not their burn wallet, but mine wallet dedicated for this. And then I'll do the send. So I actually owe a $15 one. And then this week, so there's being a single one of, I think it's like 300,000 or 400,000 or whatever. Luna Classic that comprises $30 worth will be sent to the burn wallet. You can check our Twitter profile. We have a link directly to the wallet if you want to just see the past burns that have been done. So you know I'm about it, as the kids like to say. And I don't do it asking anything other than participation. That's it. As long as people participate, I don't mind doing it. And I'll continue to do it as long as I feel that there's a benefit to doing so. To that end, I know that Luna Classic has been having some issues. I know there's L1 conversations and Terra Rebels screw-ups and toxicity in the community. And there's all sorts of fiasco going with that. And I'm sorry if you're in the Luna Classic community that everything derailed. But it seems inevitable. It seems like that's just cryptocurrency. They can't keep things on track, and they don't act like real businesses. They entice and encourage the kids to say the word Jeet and say the word Keck and say the word Maxi, rather than serious grown-ass adults who treat it like an investment, like most of us that are serious. Most of the people listening to my channel are serious. Certainly people listening to my podcast are serious. At CryptoTalkRadio.net are serious, and we want to treat it like a serious investment. The truth is, though, the crypto communities entice that garbage because that's just that they don't know any different. We saw the same thing with Satama. We saw the same thing with eventually Lily. Luna Classic eventually goes down that same. Terrarium goes down that same. I actually did a video. I'll tell you this real quick. I did a video on Volt, and I literally said, your community is the strongest asset. And I think you're a great project and you're doing things right. They use the Everrise ecosystem. Like I had no problem with the token. They cut the supply. They were doing everything right. And I had no concern other than keep toxicity out of the community. That's all I said. And people attacked. Okay, that means the toxicity is already there in Volt. Okay, there's nothing I can do about it. So it's not just any one project. And I want you to be clear. It's not any one project. It seems like it permeates cryptocurrency that they simply cannot keep things on track and cannot stay serious. I don't know why. Anyhow, real quick, let's talk some numbers, shall we? Because I think this is a little bit more of an exciting topic. So we had some run-ups because remember, Ethereum was down around $1,300-ish mark, $1,400-ish mark, had some run-up. We also had some run-up on Bitcoin. We had run-up across the board. Most of the trigger was Bitcoin. There were liquidations. I'll be talking about that here shortly. But the run-up, as I said, didn't look like it was going to sustain. And the sustain looks like it's about to. Maybe not. Watch and wait. That's all I'm going to say, because I can't tell you whether to buy, not buy, do or don't do. Can't tell you what to do. It's your money, and I want you to feel empowered to do what you feel. I'm simply sharing numbers and predictions as best I can. On the month chart, then, we still have more red than green. But we see a sideways pattern, a sideways formation, which seems to indicate that this will run for a while. That we'll have some run up. We are going to have some down. We also have to see how the Asian markets react. Do the Asian markets start dumping off? Don't know. Time will tell. What I've always said, I maintain. Be smart about it. Take profits. If you have a project and you really want to believe and hold it long term, by all means. Ultimately, I think everything's going to be good. In fact, just talking about Ethereum alone, Ethereum, it feels to me like it's primed to go to about the $2,000 mark at some point in the next month or two-ish. Steady growth, like not the, but steady upward to about the 2,000 mark. If we can do that without people dumping off the thing, I think we'll be in a good spot for a run-up near the end of the year, as currently looks the case. If that happens, then everybody, I think, should be smiling, because it means that all the people that said, rest in peace. I saw this on Twitter. I actually sent out a message with the Roman Reigns reaction. Rest in peace, crypto, and crypto's dead, and crypto's dying, and all this crap. And I sent out that reaction saying, come on, dude, this is cyclical. It happens. It's happened multiple times before. It's going to happen again. You just have to learn to time it. Everything's timing, and stop going after the crap that's out there, because a lot of these cryptos are crap. It's just the way it is. And people didn't believe me, and I just kind of marinate in the cut and do my own business. So I think everything's looking good overall in price movement, and I don't have any concerns like I did before. But again, we have to watch the Asian markets and see how they react to what's going on and whether we can hold this momentum long term. So then $600 million in shorts get liquidated. And this was one of the catalysts for the run-up of Bitcoin that we saw very recently. We haven't had this velocity of run-up, I should say, since late last year. Everything's looking positive. However, remember that everything ultimately backs on Bitcoin at some level. So as Bitcoin moves, you do see other ones move, even cryptos that are dead or crap. So there's a token out there called Gold Mint. And I believe it's on the Ethereum chain, but it's Gold Mint. No volume whatsoever, up 17%. Like, you're going to see even dead tokens, as long as they're still active, but dead tokens, they'll start pumping. Not because they're doing anything, but because their liquidity pair is Ethereum. And because Ethereum's pumping, it pumps the pair, which pumps the visual on the graph. So be careful, because if it's a crypto project, look at things like volume, 24-hour volume. Look at things like the supply. Look at all these different metrics to determine whether it's worth doing. Because if they don't have any volume, the pump's only going to last as long as the liquidity pump lasts. And there could be whales sitting, waiting to dump massive. So you have higher risk if there's no volume. Also, if the holder count is low, like that Satama V3, right? And it was out there and it only had like 300 holders. That means any one of them can dump off the project and just kill it. And that happened. So be careful. If you're going to buy into something, just be careful and be aware it's not just about that green, because it's misleading. You also have to look at volume. You have to look at holder counts. You have to look at everything. Make sure that you're in line with what everything tells you, whether or not it's worth to buy in or not, and how much you choose to buy in, of course, is your prerogative. Side then, Polygon is looking at doing a hard fork. And Polygon is notable because Polygon, of course, was brought to its knees by a garbage sunflower game that was last year, I believe, brought to its knees. And then what happens on a regular basis, I see this all the time. minting, NFT minting, will spike those gas fees. So like normally Polygon is like a penny at most, 2 pennies, maybe 10 cents. Every now and then it'll get up into the dollars range or whatnot. Mind you, gas also contributes in based on how the contract's written. So if the contract is inefficiently written, that's going to be higher gas fees as well. In Polygon, there was no real explanation. It just started skyrocketing for no reason. At times, people tied it back to NFT minting activities. So what they're trying to do is create this hard fork to help keep those spikes under control. This is not going to control everything, just get it to where it's a little bit more efficient in how it does its everything, all of its behaviors. Also, they're trying to toy with the different proof of metrics that Hedera uses. That intrigued me a little bit because I knew that, so that's down here, zero knowledge rollups. What that basically means is you've got transactions, and the way that they're doing the transaction, the validation of transactions, they want to change it. They're testing it. It's not main. Hedera already has that in place. So if you're curious about how the zero knowledge rollup methodology works, I'd point you to the Hedera, Hedera blockchain. Take a look at that one because I think that one's cool. It's just one of those underdogs, kind of sleeping giants that's waiting to break out. So Polygon, once this happens, may get a little bit of a breakout, not just because of the Ethereum tie-in, because that's always there, but also with this is going to cause some pumps, buy the rumor, sell the news. So I'd keep an eye on that one for sure. Meanwhile, let's get into our big topic, right? This idiot, Logan Paul, who, like a dumbass, jumped off a turnbuckle onto somebody while doing a selfie of himself. I didn't watch the event. I saw the highlight after the fact. And then, of course, he's getting praised because he had the balls to get in the ring, right? And obviously he's doing that like the wrestlers, but I think it's honestly, discredit to the business. I don't like seeing celebrities like this who have not been in the business for years training to do this correctly. And they get in, do that and make a mint, because I know he made 7 figures minimum. More power to him. But then I talked about how the CryptoZoo project, that's his project, and he allegedly abandoned it at one point. And then CoffeeZilla did a coverage exposing him, got, millions and millions of views, talking about it's a scam, it's this, and he's got criminals working for him and all this. Logan Paul then responded, talking about, I'm going to sue you and his manager. You're going to get sued. You need to tell the truth and all this. And recently, Logan Paul came out, he released this video and he was backing off. He said, I'm not going to sue CoffeeZilla. I appreciate CoffeeZilla's coverage. Now we got a plan to fix this CryptoZoo and get it back on track. And, you would think that the community would be happy about this, right? That, okay, you're not going to leave us behind. You're going to get us all taken whole. They're not really happy about what they said, at least not all of them. But I'm not going to go too deep into this. There are highlights that I want to just share because it's a good learning lesson for cryptocurrency in general. First of all, he claims he didn't profit off of CryptoZoo. Excuse me. I actually believe it. I actually do believe he didn't make a damn thing because generally, most of the money probably went to the person who designed the software. Because my guess is he was so disconnected in all the people that were doing something and it got out of control and he didn't know what the hell was going on. So I guess that the people who wrote the code for this, that he hired all these criminals and whatnot, took the money off these people. That's my guess. I can't prove it, but that's my theory. So then he talks about this plan. It's a 3-step plan that basically says the tokens that we have, which contradicts what he said before, but the tokens that he has and the tokens with this other guy, Jeff Levin, they're going to burn those. That's going to help basically add some stability back to the project, put some value back in there, remove their stake. Here's the thing. When I saw Levin, right, it caught me. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that same Joker that's behind Zen Crypto? And apparently that's Jack Levin. And this is Jeff Levin. I'm like, geez, it's like La Cucaracha. So second stage of this, he says he's going to take $1.5 million committed onto the project, reimburse investors that want to get their money back. So the thought is, if you want to get out, we're going to put a fund together to let you get your money back out of this business. So the problem here is that you're still going to be at a loss because Ethereum crapped. Now, the timing of the pump of Ethereum might help offset that. But the theory is that when this started, this was prior, like you're talking $3,000 range of Ethereum. We're not going to be anywhere close to that. Certainly not by mid-year. So everybody who chooses to do that, you'll get something back, but you're not going to get everything back. Apparently, this is out of pocket. Apparently, this is him just doing this to make this work. And then he wanted to say, okay, we're going to get people on this to find out what went wrong, why this happened, and get it solved. And then ideally, recover the project and rebuild and get it to be something solvent. And then people attacked him and said great stuff like this guy, Crypto Bitlord, who said, quote, let's be honest, you ain't care till it started to impact your reputation as a scammer, thanks to CoffeeZilla. Quote, you then threatened to sue him. And when you realized it backfired on you because he didn't have no case, you started this to try to please people. You're as fake as it gets, a true LARP. Of course, there are kids making up words. But the point is valid, which is that all the threats that Logan Paul was doing, he was trying to bully CoffeeZilla, and it wasn't going to work because he had no case. And I guarantee you some lawyer talked to him and said, you don't have a case here. You have no case, and I recommend that you make this right because what's being said in this video is the truth. And because what happened is this guy, Logan, hired criminals to do the project. So you can't blame CoffeeZilla for talking to the criminals that you hired to run the project. And I'm pretty damn sure that said criminals ripped everybody off. I'm pretty damn sure that's what happened. That's why you shouldn't have incompetent people leading a project. He had no business getting into the crap in the first place. Somebody, I guarantee you, somebody shook him down. Somebody told him, yeah, this is easy. We can make this deep, and then sold him on this crap. And he fell in hook, line, and sinker like the mark that he is. That's what happened. And CoffeeZilla simply exposed what truly was. And then CoffeeZilla gave him a chance and gave his manager a chance to give their side of the story so that it was fair. And Logan rejected it. And then Logan tried to strong arm him to get him to go out there on his podcast, which of course would generate ad revenue. Like CoffeeZilla played this perfectly, I think. And anybody who's in the safe food eco, and I don't even know if there's an eco anymore, but anybody who's in the safe food, I said, when CoffeeZilla went after the car salesman, I said, this is what you don't want, man. You don't want that smoke because it'll kill projects. CoffeeZilla will shut you down. He'll get you shut down because he has that credibility. He has the platform. He's way more of a platform than I ever will be. And so if he's doing that deep dive coverage, if he's targeting you, you're toast, brother. So just own up. Stop trying to be boss and just do what you're told when he invites you on his show to answer these questions. Do it. Do it if you're really about it and you're really not trying to rip people off, go on the show, talk to them. I think, again, and this is my opinion as an outsider. I wasn't in the project. I didn't even know about the damn project because I don't follow, social media stuff. But I think somebody convinced Logan Paul this was a solid thing. I think they convinced him they could build this thing and it was going to make all sorts of money for people. I think those developers jacked him, pulled a jack move on him. I believe whoever wrote that, because he said himself, these are criminals. Now, why he wasn't doing background checks and why he wasn't vetting the people that he had build the project he's attaching his name to, I can't answer that. Like, you got to understand, I don't know if it was Logan alone or Jake alone or both of them. One of these were Disney kids like that. Do you understand? Like, these are not stupid people. They're not stupid people. What happens is you're stretched. Logan Paul, he does his YouTube stuff. Logan Paul's a boxer. Logan Paul's doing WrestleMania. Logan Paul does ad crap, endorsements. He's stretched thin. So then this is just another thing that sits off to the side. And he's not sitting and watching it all the time. He doesn't care about it. To him, it's just another thing. Well, when it goes south, he's on the hook, and he didn't apparently accept that because he's on this pedestal, right? He's like, I'm untouchable. Nobody can touch me. I'm pretty sure it was Logan who was out there doing selfies next to a dead body out there in whatever, Japan or something like that. I'm pretty sure that was him. Like, some people get to a point, and I blame the people that follow him because they put him on a pedestal, causing him to then be treated as untouchable. And again, CoffeeZilla is probably the only dude or lady who can come out and shut that down right off jump. And kudos to him for the coverage that he does, because he's probably, again, the only one that has enough clout to be able to intervene and say, look, I'm going to get you. And I think it's good because it keeps people at least somewhat safe. And if some people at least recoup some of their money, that's better than nothing, certainly. I think the lesson learned for people, any of them is listening to me, the lesson learned here is I wish people would stop going after these super, you got 30 million followers, so you must be credible. I said before, your follower count don't mean a damn thing. It's all about credibility. It's all about how you speak. It's all about how you present. If you're doing stuff and you just seem like the cool kid on the block and you fall for that, I mean, you really have nobody to blame but yourself. And I'm being honest. What you should go with is somebody who has some common sense, somebody that treats it like a real business. They're not using Jeet and Keck and Maxi and all the crap. They're speaking like an educated person. I actually had somebody, ironically, claim they could not understand a post that I put. This is on GameFAQs. Come on. The words, if you actually take the time to read it, are pretty damn clear. Problem is, younger folks don't take the time to read, and they want stuff force-fed to them. And then when they want stuff force-fed to them and you force-feed it to them, they fight it anyway. So, no. I mean, ultimately, I think what happened here, the big picture with this situation and other situations is I want people to consider why you're listening to somebody like this, why you're taking their advice, why you're listening when they tell you that this is going to the whatever. And certainly this, okay, it's a thing and it hatches an egg and turns into some mutant animal. I would also question why you would care about such an NFT, because I don't see that it really does anything that's going to benefit society in any way. Now, it's cool if you think it's cool art. Then you got to just simply say, you know what, I'm doing this because it's cool art. Then does the dollar amount really matter? Like, think about the motivation behind this. If the motivation behind this is simply because you like the art, why does the dollar amount matter? Why does it matter that he potentially ripped you off? If it's the money that matters, why wouldn't you get into a project that's more likely to have made you money, like those garbage Trump NFTs? It feels like certain people don't have their priorities straight when they trade. No problem. Anybody can trade however they choose to trade. I'm saying that I would rather see people get a little bit more logical in why they trade and have reasons they trade, that if you were to just listen to the guy, you can say, this isn't serious. This is not going to be anything. It's a waste of time and money. And I need to go after some serious projects. Chances are that's going to be one of the core coins. And then you're fighting the greed of, well, this isn't going to go to the moon, doot. That kind of goes with the brakes. Irrespective of what I just said, it's your money and you do what you choose to do with it. I simply think it's stupid to listen to somebody like that telling you this game is going to be something when you know he's stretched thin and he really isn't focused on cryptocurrency. It's just a side thing for him. Just like Kim Kardashian, just like Floyd Mayweather, just like everybody else. It's a side thing for them. It's not main. It's not something they do that they're passionate about. They're just in there to make money just like everybody else. They're greedy just like everybody else. If you're just going to pay their greed and pay their bills, I celebrate you. I respect you. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up. I told you it'd be a slim episode. I'm going to shut up and see if we have any questions in our various chat forums. And while I wait for any potential questions, just an FYI and an update. Plan is to potentially get the hell out of here next week. I'm still waiting on another provider. I need dates from them to understand what the heck's going on. Then I have to get shipping containers, finish packing. This means that the next weekly, if I'm not able to sort that out because my internet schedule will be shut off on the 20th because I'm planning to be out of here. I have backup internet. It's not designed for streaming. So depending on what all this looks like, there may or may not be a weekly next weekend. I'm not sure. You will know the moment I know, which will probably be at the last minute, probably like Thursday is probably when I'm really going to know. And then I'll let you know. I'll do an ad hoc and just let you know what the deal is and whether there's going to be a weekly. And then I'll communicate that on Twitter and in Discord, probably and in Facebook, just to make sure I cover all bases. That there may or may not be next week. I'm not sure because it depends on the move and all this other chaos. Because I really got to get the hell out of Nevada. You can't appreciate how terrible it is out here. So that's where we're at. But yeah, any questions before I wrap up? Good enough. Once again, thank you for joining. If I do next weekend, once again, I'll let you know if there's not. But if I do next weekend, Next weekend will basically be another short episode. I'm trying to keep them slim because I want to get into the new place before I commit time, because I have to dedicate to my packing and everything else. The pumps, I don't know if they're permanent. I don't know if they're temporary. I don't have data, factual data. I can tell you definitive. I don't know. I will say enjoy the pumps for while they last, but realize it could be a bull trap for all we know. I don't think it is, because the amount of pump is pretty significant. I will always tell you to take profits. It's up to you what you do, but I always tell you to take profits and don't get stuck in something. Take care of your family. If you choose to YOLO, if you're a gambler, whichever your category of trader, it's up to you. I celebrate you. I respect you. I say, make sure you take profits and don't get stuck in something, because we don't really know what the future holds. It is very well possible things just start going up and up and up and keep going, and even shoot past expectations and predictions. It's also possible that there's some major dump or some other poof hair that kills the business again. It's also possible that Gary Gensler says something that kills the business again. It's also possible that some kind of war or something kills the business again. My only point, we don't know what the future holds. We can only predict, and there's these outside catalysts that could kill off the predictions. So I can only recommend that you be careful with whatever you choose to do, and understand we don't know. It looks good, but a lot of things look good and then they turn out terrible. We had a very good looking beginning of 2022 as well. Remember? It was looking really good. And then what happened? Everything just trashed, and it hurt even worse than we had before. So the same could happen again. We just don't know. And that's why I always lean towards a statement of be careful above everything else. Meanwhile, I'm excited to get the hell out of Nevada, but I'm fighting a lot of vendors. So I have to fight past all of it. And once it's all done, I will finally be free of this terrible place known as Nevada, and in a place that I don't know it's going to be any better, but I assume it will be, because it's not on the West Coast. It's nowhere close to California, and it's negative influence. Meanwhile, hopefully we get more influence from the new people we got in the government to fix some of the damage that was caused in 2022 and 2021, especially 2021. We need more. We need a better economy. We need our economy back in shape. We need to fix inflation. We need to fix jobs. We need to focus on the money. We need to stop trying to focus on climate as much as we're doing. I'm not saying don't focus at all. I'm saying we got to stop focusing on as much as possible and instead give some time towards the economy getting it back on track. Because if we don't have a good, solid economy, none of the rest of it really matters. If we increase homelessness, none of the rest of it really matters. Cryptocurrency is at a pivotal moment right now. If you give more money to people, and I'm not talking to hand it to them, I'm saying fix inflation, fix these issues. If we can get back on track with this, it's going to put us in a better spot, and it'll entice people potentially to buy into cryptocurrency that didn't want to do it before, because there's more disposable income. I think everybody should really want that. With that said, I once again thank you for joining me here today. My name is Leicester, Crypto Talk Radio. Check us out at cryptotalkradio.net, and I will let you know sometime next week whether we'll have a weekly next weekend or if it'll be deferred. Chances are it'll be deferred if I do move, because I won't do a stream while I'm driving. Not that car. If I had my other car, I would do it. And this one, no, sorry. But I will tell you one way or another, you will hear from me. Thank you.